it's something that's inbuilt within us. Because we are powerful influencers, we also have a great tendency to be powerful manipulators, and that's something that we have to check, because the enemy seeks to pervert everything that is good. He likes to turn these virtues into vices. It's just what he likes to do. So women are influencers. We need to learn how to wield our influence for God's glory, and that means in the lives of our brothers, encouraging them onto godliness, pushing them onto godliness. That's something that's important to do. But also in our sisters and whoever's lives, how can I use my influence, my words, my persuasive words to make sure you're becoming all that you can be in Christ? Another thing that women are incredible helpers. Now, the word helpers can sound like such a negative word when it's just like, I don't want to be building someone else's empire. I need someone to help me build mine. But the thing about help is that you don't solicit help from someone who doesn't have the capacity to help you. You need to ask for help from someone that can help you. And it's similar to if Efe's having troubles with her maths work and she comes to me to ask for help, it's because I know something that she doesn't know. So women are great helpers, and it's the word that's initially used for women in the Bible when God speaks of women. And there's something called the law of first mention, and what that means is that the first time a word is mentioned in scripture or in any kind of literature, you go back to that word to derive the context and the meaning of that word. An example of that could be Abraham and Isaac. Please stop me if I'm going too fast as well. It could be Abraham and Isaac, and the first time the word worship is used in the Bible, Abraham says to his servants, "Stay here, me and the boy are going yonder to worship." And then from that you derive the fact that worship means sacrifice, because what Abraham was about to do was to go and sacrifice his son. So the law of first mention means that you always go back to where the word was first used to get the meaning and the context. So when women were first used, when the word woman was first used, God says to Adam, I'm going to make him a helper comparable to him. So it shows us that one of our primary functions as women is to be a helper. And that word that's used in the Hebrew is Ezer Connector. And Ezer Connector literally means a helper who sustains, or a helper who, it's like a backbone. You are not just a mere piece of help, but you sustain, you give life, you help. And the same word Ezer is used for God. He is our Ebenezer, or I will lift up mine eyes to the hills from whence cometh my help, my Ezer. So it's about knowing that we are powerful helpers. And what that means is that we have gifts, we have talents, we have graces. This also links in with influence, actually. We have all of these things that ought to be an extension of the people's graces around us. If I know that I'm really good at branding, for example, and if Efe's really good at implementation, for example, how can I use my gifts to serve her, and how can she use her gifts to serve me? I think we miss out on a huge part of God's function for our lives when we step away from the function of being a helper to people around us. When we embrace our God, it's not even just to a husband, please believe. It's not just, when you get married, then be a helper to your husband. You are called to be a helper in your families, in your homes.